So ARK Innovation ETF has a Tesla problem. And let me show you why. First of all, if you recall, if you've been following along, I made a big deal out of this breakout that ARK had in December. And this pre-pandemic high is very important level. And I'll show you why, because right before the pandemic, ARK hit an all-time high here before it completely crashed. Then, of course, it made this big old bubble. And then once it came back below this line, it took what was this 2.5 years for ARK to finally crawl its way back just to that pre-pandemic high. Now, at the time when I got bullish on ARK, I said, I fully expect ARK to struggle at this line. That's exactly what it's done. It's pivoted around it. And I also said at the time that I was going to ignore any struggles because I think fundamentally ARK has more tailwinds behind it now than it's had in a while. You see in this last sell-off last week, and I wrote about this in my blog, drdrew.com/122, all letters, that ARC did not quite test the 200-day moving average. If it had, that would have been great. Notice also, and I didn't mark this here, but this is the post-election gap up that ARC had. It gained 8%. Now, unfortunately, there's a high chance that at some point ARC is going to fill this gap. That gap was pretty big. But we do have the 200-day moving average that's starting to finally go into an uptrend. So I'm expecting for this support to hold firm. If my thesis that this breakout was the final bullish call to just buy and hold ARC. So anyway, I am a holder in ARK, and I have two strategies. One is a core position that I have, and a second one is a trading position where I try to trade around these bounces. And so far, overall, the strategy has been quite successful. Of course, that's not a guarantee of future success. And why is it not a guarantee of future success? Because again, ARK has a Tesla problem. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look. I'm at swingtradebot. As many of you know, I'm a subscriber and a big fan. So some of the things I show in here may not be available to you if you are not a subscriber. Tesla is the number one holding in ARK. It currently has a 10.7, let's just call it 11% allocation. And that's a huge weight. And it's a huge weight to have in a stock that's been performing very poorly. I don't need to go through all the headlines. I'm not making any political statements here. This is just a technical observation. Back the last time I did a Tesla review, I was talking about the importance of this breakout. And that breakout was important because it was the former all-time high. Once Tesla gave that all-time high up, I was not as bullish as I was when ARK gave up its breakout. And that's because of many reasons. Of course, some of it is the headwinds that Tesla faces, but also the technical reasons, because once it broke down below this 50-day moving average, the 20-day moving average was in full declines, full steep decline, and that has just pushed Tesla down. Now, again, not again, but technicals are important. Now, I don't know whether the 200-day moving average is going to hold sustainably for days and weeks and months and years, but check this out. Magically, the buyers finally showed up in Tesla after it tested its 200-day moving average. That's the blue line. So what is ARK's Tesla problem? Well, ARK's Tesla problem is that Tesla, since ARK broke out in December, has come down from 480 to, let's just say that at this lowest point here, to 280. I lost 200 points. What is that? That is a super duper calculator. Tell me what the deal is. That's a 58%. Sorry, it's almost a 50% decline. That's pretty bad. So it's amazing, actually. Let me just flip back to ARK again, that ARK actually hasn't done worse. In fact, look at that. It held up pretty well against Tesla's weakness until the last week, week and a half. And now I said ARK has a Tesla problem, even though ARK has been relatively robust, but it also just has a poor stock holding problem. Like I hoped by this time there would be more stocks in ARK that would be better rated. But as you can see, according to SwingTradeBot, ARK just has way too many Fs in an ETF that you want to buy and hold. Just on this first, on its top 10, I think, wait, what is this? This top 20 allocated stocks, one, two, three, four. five F-rated stocks. So that's 25% of the stocks in the top 20 allocation are F-rated. And then if we want to throw in the Ds like Tesla, so we get to six, seven, eight, nine, almost 50% of the stocks in ARK in the top 20 are Ds and Fs. That's a pretty bad record. Now, the good side of that is if any of these stocks, if enough of these stocks turn around, then of course ARK will get a really big boost. And let me just look at the last 20. And of course, as you know from my last videos on this, one of my big problems is that Tesla is just way, not Tesla, ARK is just way down with a lot of poor quality stocks. So you can look at the bottom stocks here, they're almost all Fs and Ds. I mean, this is just ugliness. But you know, anyone who knows ARK's philosophy is that they're very loath to give up on stories, and they will hold on to stocks long after most traders have given up, and they'll even continue to buy double, triple, quadruple down all the way down to low levels. So anyway, let's go back to the technicals. Let's look at ARK's prospects. It's below its 50-day moving average now. No surprise to me that it followed through and continued to sell. I'm looking for it to hold 200-day moving average support. If it gets that low, I am sticking to my strategy because I think ARK has a lot more tailwinds than headwinds finally at this point. And also, it's kind of my own speculation. I don't want to be left holding no shares, if that makes sense, in ARK, if at some day they really do turn this ship around, pun intended. And now let's go back to Tesla, which I said again is ARK's biggest problem right now. You don't have to look at all of these labels that I put in. I just put these here for my own record, just so I have quick visual reminders as to what's going on in the stock. But another important thing is since ARK also gapped up after the election, Tesla also gapped up at the election. And check this out. At the end of last week, at the low, Tesla finally started eating into its post-election gains, or the gap, sorry. It's already erased all of its incremental post-election gains. So the thing to be careful about is if Tesla does break down below this 200-day moving average, it could be a very quick ride down here to finally fill that post-election gap. So I'm curious to hear what you think. Put your comments, feedback in the comments. Please subscribe to this channel if you want more of this commentary. You can also check out my blog at drduru.com/122, all letters, where I go into more detail with technical analysis and also some fundamental analysis in stocks of interest. Hopefully this has been helpful to you, and I will check you out on the next time. Take it easy.